Well, welcome back, everyone. It's a lovely evening here in 1914 Davis, West Virginia. You look out your window, you can see stumps and dirt and ramshackle buildings as far as the eye can see. You might even see someone peeking out a second story window looking at a fine gentleman standing in the middle of the dusty road. We are back for the second session of Strange Roots, our Old Gods of Appalachia TTRPG. Little try it out, little short story. Before we dive back into the action, let's go ahead and introduce our characters. This time we will start with Irene.
All right. Well, I'm Misha _ less than 3, and I'm playing Irene. She's a butcher here in town. Everyone loves her. Maybe everyone's a little sad. She lost her husband some years ago, definitely to a normal mining accident, and not because he left town or anything else. And right now, she's just made some new friends after a terrible train crash that killed everyone except these 3 people from out of town who are all very strange in slightly different ways. Shanks?
Hello, I'm the Shanks Master General. I'm playing Rick Schlink, a musician who travels the freight cars of Appalachia. Well, a lot of places in America, but lately Appalachia. I've actually been through Davis before. I was one of these out-of-towners that managed to survive the train crash, and even if he's not aware of it, he might have prophetic songs come out of him, like creatively, but he's not fully aware of it at all. But now he's just basically managed to get an accommodation at Irene's place, and happy to have it. Hey, there, Capper, go ahead.
Cafferson playing Cameron Whitaker, the local to Davis herbalist, powder maker, tonic maker, walks around with his wheelbarrow selling things that make people feel good. A little bit heartbroken he was not able to help much with the whole train accident, but looking to find some other way to help. So, over to Sim.
Hi, I'm sinful _ potato or sin. I'm playing Annie, who is the cursed speaker character. He has very strong intuition and definitely doesn't hear voices constantly or almost constantly. Yeah, everything's fine. No bodies that were dead are whispering. It's fine. And they're not there's no spooky thing that said that they're sleeping and then they're gonna be awake. Everything's fine. Definitely everything is completely fine. Mora?
Hold it in.
Someday I'll remember to unmute myself. I'm playing Mora, who is a sage who's taught by her mother, an out-of-towner, was on this train wreck and seems to have survived with not train accident related injuries, but weird vine-like scars across all of her bare skin. And who is now here trying to figure out what's going on. Why is the green so angry?
Yeah. And who's that standing out in the middle of the road, looking at you with coal-like specks of light in their eyes?
Yeah, I don't like that question.
So Irene and Annie are asleep on the second story. Rick, I think we established, is downstairs in a little office storeroom on a pallet. Mora is currently the only, and Cameron is up at his cabin outside town. So Mora is, if not the only person awake in town, certainly the only member of her group of friends who's awake at the moment. What happens?
Well, I don't know what that is, but I would like to be less alone in this, so I'm going to make it other people's problem. So I'm on the upper story. Are Annie and I in a room together?
I think it's basically a 2-room situation, right? So it's not like anyone's that far away.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think
gonna,
Annie's probably asleep on the floor nearby.
Yeah, I am going to shake Annie awake. And I'm just whispering, there is something bad outside. And then I am going to peek out the window to see if that thing has moved.
What thing?
Oh no.
You must have dreamt it.
Like tap the windowsill a little bit and look back at Annie and back outside and go, okay, well, there was something bad outside. I guess I'm sorry for waking you.
Oh, it's all right. Whenever the intuition hits, no, it's always good to trust it. That intuition.
I think I'd like to take a look downstairs. Would you mind accompanying me?
Sure.
And I'm just gonna lead the way down the stairs, just looking around. Is anything out of place?
You know what? Maybe. Why don't you investigate for me? Now it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
You've just woken up from a not so restful sleep. I think hindrances all told, I'm going to make it difficulty 5.
All right.
Jeez.
So I'm trained in perception.
Mm-hmm. That'll ease
Love
it by
perceiving
1.
things. A lot of these other things aren't that relevant. Identifying creatures is, if the creature's not relevant, if the creature's not here, it's less useful. I do have edge and intellect, so I could use some of that pool to bring it down. Is that?
You could spend 2 intellect to apply 1 degree of effort, which will lower it even further. Get you down
Okay,
to
what is
difficulty 3 or a target number of 9.
Okay. But it would otherwise with the training and perception, it'd be a difficulty of 12.
Yeah.
Okay, math.
Well, target number 12, yeah.
Target number 12. Yes, sorry. Yeah, I'll spend some pool.
Are there any assets that you could use?
How about the adrenaline from seeing a monster out the window? No?
That's
Okay.
part of the hindrance.
That's part of the hindrance. Okay. I don't think I have.
Oh. Do you have a lantern?
Do I have a lantern?
That might help the investigation.
Can I have a lantern?
Do you have a lantern?
I don't think I have I think my big bag of stuff at least has a candle.
Probably.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable thing to carry around with you and not a lantern. So, I mean, you could have a lantern, but maybe not in your purse. I don't know.
I feel attacked.
Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong about what people put in their purses. So I've got a candle to help.
Yeah, so I think you maybe wait here, Annie. Go upstairs, rustle around in your bag, pull out a candle.
Yeah, light a match and get that going. So I think I'm not going to spend pool. So we'll leave it. Trained perception. I have some light to guide the way down the darkened staircase.
Sure.
And I rolled a 6, so we're doing great.
Oh,
Should have spent that effort. Oh wow. I think the problem is that you're doing your best to shield the candle, but it does help you see, but it also creates just these dancing shadows everywhere. And although you have seen this place in daylight, it's not entirely unfamiliar. It's certainly not a place you know well. So there's a little bit of, wait, what is that? Oh, right, that's that ham hock that I saw today. Oh, that's someone standing in the corner. No, it's the apron that Irene uses when she's butchering. So it does help you see, but it maybe also raises the tension a little bit. But no, you don't notice anything strange at all, which means there definitely isn't anything strange to notice.
Seems fine. I think I take a pause at the bottom of the staircase, contemplating going back up or not, and just look at Annie and go like, I don't suppose you sense anything? Got any intuition about this?
Is there an assess the situation roll?
Well, it's really more like just describe what you're trying to do, and then I'll tell you what needs to happen, and you can tell me if you have any skills, abilities, assets that might apply to make it easier for you. So what does Annie do in response to Mora's request? You want to look around? You want to get out a Ouija board and have a fun little girls' night talking to spirits in a butcher shop with 4 corpses directly below you?
I do have a Ouija board if you want to do that.
There's all sorts of options.
I think Annie will just look around.
All right. So I think that's another very, very similar role, similar difficulty. But we'll knock it down to 4 because you do have light. So that would be target number 12.
Does being trained in listening and hearing help?
Not listening and hearing.
Okay.
Perception, investigation, that kind of stuff would.
It's a 10.
I think maybe everyone had one too many nips of Cameron's 100% legal tonic before going to bed, having a hard time pulling it together.
I kind of have an idea. Maybe I'm not quite sure how this ability works, but can I suggest something? So Rick's in the room down below, and earlier he came up with the song, and he's wondering about a new stanza, like the third stanza. Before he was thinking, well, he believes he was thinking, but was rather told that there was a stanza that would actually denote like a sort of redemption for the town and how that would work out. And so he would spend his time. I want to use my insight ability. The voices have many things to tell you, and some are beneficial. Once after each 10-hour recovery roll, I think we're in a recovery.
I think this will
situation
probably
now.
have to wait till morning.
Oh, okay. Then yeah,
Because this is middle of the night.
Then that's fair.
I think maybe Rick is having dreams and doing a little bit of composing and work on the lyrics subconsciously in your sleep
Musicians have been known to do that.
Well, obviously I was imagining things, and nothing's wrong here. So after a last glance around, I'm going to start going back up the stairs.
I think as you do, you note an errant moonbeam from one of the front windows just happens to be placed right on the trap door down to the cellar.
Mm-hmm. The cellar with the bodies in?
And the meats and the cheeses.
I look at the cellar and the moonbeam illuminating the cellar. And I think about my life and my life choices. And I realize I'm not going to be able to sleep unless I look at what's in that cellar. Just make sure it all is as I expect it to be. So I'm going to go over and lift the cellar door and take a look down there.
Now, are you being real quiet about it?
I think I am being quiet. This is a sort of action that requires some
Finesse.
circumspection.
All right. Go ahead and give me a, let's see, it's real quiet. So even just the little bit of creaking of your footsteps on the wooden floorboards seems incredibly loud. Now these hinges get a fair amount of use, so you don't have to worry about rusty squealing, but it might be somewhat challenging to do this, and especially with Rick sleeping in the other room to avoid waking him up. So I think I'll make it difficulty 4 speed task.
Okay.
And if you have any skills in things like stealth, burglary,
Absolutely not.
I might even
wilderness
accept
navigate
grave
my way.
robbing.
Unfortunately, grave robbing is not what I do, despite what that might seem for a sage. So I think I will spend some of my speed pool on this. I do not have edge and speed, so that will be 3 points.
Yeah,
So I will do that thing.
do it.
And then I will roll. I can't think of a convincing asset to add to this.
I would say if you get Annie to help you.
Sure. I gesture to Annie. I like call you over, beckon you over, and like gesture, like help me with this so we can do it quietly.
Okay. I'll help Mara with it.
Cool. Yeah, I'll count that as another ease.
I rolled another 6.
I'm detecting a pattern.
Yes.
Uh,
Something that died in jail.
So I think perhaps you very cautious and careful pull it up without so much as a squeal. But I think perhaps you underestimated how heavy and unwieldy it is, and it probably drops the last 4 or 5 inches. Rick, I think you hear, and kind of, I mean, you're laying on a little thin pallet. I think probably just the sound conducted through the floorboards directly into your skull. You hear a loud thud.
Honestly, Rick sleeps rough, and it's probably the best sleep he's had in a while. But it's still jarring. Who's there? Are you trying to steal my lantern?
I'm assuming this is small enough I can hear him yelling.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think probably even Irene at this point with Rick with Rick yelling out. I think that probably is enough to wake Irene.
Sorry,
I got
dear.
the shotgun next to my bed. Someone's trying to rob my meat. I gotta go solve this problem.
There's just a massive boom and a plume of smoke as Irene blows a hole in the floor. Rick just barely dodges the blast.
I would think after a minute or two, I will be noting that my upstairs guests are missing and they are downstairs. I am holding a shotgun because it is the middle of the night and it can be dangerous around these parts.
Yeah. And you know
Don't
these
understand.
you know this place really well, so you probably just with speed come. So y'all hear the pad of feet, either bare or in stockings or something like that, coming down the steps, and then all you see is the barrel of a shotgun.
Oh, are you all okay? No trouble here, right?
No trouble. I thought I saw someone running around outside, and I wanted to make sure that there was nothing out of place down here.
Well, there shouldn't be anything out of place. We would have heard this door open. It's very heavy, especially for an old lady like yourself.
It was very heavy.
Mhm.
I apologize for waking you.
Well, no need. It's probably good to take a look around if you'd like. Ah, Rick, you're awake. If you would be so kind as to investigate.
Sounds like a good idea. Let me just shake these cobwebs out of my head for a second. Oh, I could have used a few more hours. That's for sure. All right, and then Rick goes to assist. It's like, so what's happening? What are we looking for?
Just a strange man?
Yeah, a strange man. I saw something real strange out the window.
And he's where? Downstairs in the cellar?
I just wanted to make sure nothing in the house is out of place, and then we can all go back to sleep, and it'll be
All
fine.
right.
Oh,
I'll
yes,
go take-
that'd be nice. Oh, let me get a light. You don't worry about that. If we're going to be looking around, and I turn around and grab my lantern off the
Oh,
wall.
I was gonna use my lantern.
Yes, I also have a lantern. They're very handy for casting a light.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
right here.
And he goes, "What's this on the wall?" and flips the light switch.
No electricity.
Is that legal? Do we have that?
Annie,
You
look
might
us a
have
lantern.
you might have some electricity, especially as a shop owner. The town has been electrified for years, but again, that doesn't mean that it's particularly modern or all pervasive. But you're reasonably
pricey.
prosperous.
Well, I can't say I'm very used to this newfangled electricity, so very, very unfamiliar with all that.
Yes, it's quite handy when the shop has to be open later at night. Not this late though, but it doesn't run in the cellar. Just here on the main floor. So if you just want to take this lantern, you can have two lanterns. Double the light factor. That's how it works, right?
We'll use one lantern at a time. I want to save my oil.
All right, so Rick is going to toddle on down into the meat cellar.
Right.
Yes.
Creep down. Take a look around, see if I see anything or if I hear anything.
I mean, it's similar. The hangings, slabs of meat, cast shadows. The 4 unfortunate bundles up against a wall appear to still be resting.
All right, I just peer, take a once over, and yeah, if nothing interesting pops up, I'm going back to bed.
Well, how close you looking?
Well, I mean, everyone was concerned, so I feel like I want to be looking at least a bit more than just a quick once over, just to alleviate some stress.
All right. I think that's going to be... I think difficulty 4 intellect.
Let's see. I got an edge in intellect, so I can spend 2, which I will.
And are you trained at anything that would apply?
I'm guessing investigation is
Yeah.
probably most. I
100%.
don't have it. I'm.
Oh.
It's the only thing I would have is
Perception,
listening-
investigation, potentially tracking. There's a number of things that might apply here.
listening and hearing is all I really have
Yeah.
in that kind of
Yeah.
domain, or understanding magic.
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm down to DC 3, or sorry, difficulty 3.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try my best here. Hiya! And it went off the table, and 16.
Ooh.
Very good.
Well, so you notice a few things.
Oh, a few things.
Yeah. You can see in the kind of packed mud or whatever the floor of this is. I mean, it's probably a little greasy from the years of drippings from what's normally stored down here. The smell is maybe not the best. But you can definitely see the boot prints of the men who deposited the body. You can see the kind of the tracks that were made. And a set of tracks stands out to you. They're very dark. As if some substance was deposited.
Oh. Like ash?
I think with that roll, you may be crouched down and pinch up a little bit of it. Not quite ash, but cinders. Like cold cinders.
Oh. This is very bizarre indeed. Like some man made out of coals walking around.
Or maybe somebody had dirty boots. I think as you bend over near those 4 bundles, kind of trying to get this greasy, now that you understand what it is, trying to get the greasy cinders off of your fingers. The other thing you notice is movement.
Oh, like what sort of movement? Like a big something big, or something like a rat?
Just the faintest movement underneath one of the impromptu shrouds.
Oh my goodness.
You all right down there, Rick? All good?
Yeah, I think it's all right. And I take out my gun and I go up to the shroud very slowly and dramatically, of course. And then I go up and grab the shroud and pull it off.
Yes. Would you give me... Oh, you know what? I think it's an intellect defense.
Intellect defense. Okay, where is that?
It's just a regular roll. I don't know if you're trained in it or not. It would be under your skills.
Probably not then.
So it's just an intellect roll like anything. But I think I'm going to say... You're a trained gunman, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to say it's difficulty 3.
Okay. And this is intellect defense, so I could... I feel like I'm going to lose more intellect if it fails. I think that's how it works in this game. So
Don't
I'm going to
know.
spend another...
Don't
another
know.
2, and then hopefully ease that.
Cool.
So what? Sorry, what's the DC again?
You eased it 1. That means the difficulty is 3.
Oh, okay.
Or did
So
I say
I have to
did
roll
I
in-
say 3 before? I think I said 3 before because you're already trained as a
So-
as a gunman. So I'm gonna say it's now difficulty 2.
So 6 up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an 18.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't shoot the rat.
Ah, man.
You almost do.
I
There is, however, something wrong with it. The rat, that is.
Oh,
It doesn't look healthy.
does it look like it's suffering or something?
Well, it's kind of hard with those milky eyes to know. It just seems to be sitting there.
Sorry, it's
Like-
old or something?
Maybe. It
That's
seems
bizarre.
it seems a little lumpy. And it does appear to be aware of your presence. Its little scabby nose kind of twitching in the air in your direction. But it doesn't seem to be afraid.
Poor little guy. Look, I know that we shouldn't have rats in a food processing area. But he's just a little guy, a little old, a little sick, but not so bad.
That's flavor.
Anyways, I take a little bit of food and I put like crumbs nearby. I don't want to get my hand too close to that thing though.
Yeah, it doesn't seem interested in the crumbs.
Hmm.
There's a clink behind you
I turn around to go see what's clinking.
as you whirl around. Again, shadows dancing. You see that a chunk of deer is swaying slightly. This must have been delivered relatively recently. It looks like it was probably crudely butchered out in the woods, but it still has the hoof, has some of the skin on it. Irene obviously hasn't had a chance to process it completely.
Right. I'm starting to get the impression that that rat wasn't just old. Starting to get the impression that things are very off here.
You look back at the rat, something, just to kind of check on it. You see something in the corner of your eye. Look back. The deer is moving more, almost like the leg was kicking.
Jeez. All right, I'm starting to get real freaked out here.
There's a plaintive sound, kind of a
Sorry, a what sound?
plaintive sound, kind of a wet mewling. You look around for the source. There's a sheep's head. See its eyes roll, mouth open slightly, the tongue loll out. Bah. Bah.
Rick, is that you? Are you okay?
Did you butcher these animals properly?
Everything in there is dead except you, sweetie.
No, it isn't.
It isn't. I reach over to grab my butcher's knife. Butcher's knife in one hand, shotguns ready in the other. Let's see which one needs to be used. These casings are expensive. So I head down into the cellar towards his lantern light to figure out what's making these noises because everything is dead. We're still in the butcher's shop.
Yeah, I think Irene clambers down the stairs, butcher knife raised. You can see the hanging meats all kind of swinging. You can see that Rick has lifted the shroud off of one of the bodies. There's a dead rat.
Rats again. Put that cloth back. Was that rat moving around?
Brown and the deer was moving around, and I'm. Sorry, what?
You're good.
Okay. Yeah, that rat's moving around, and so is that deer, and that sheep's head over there. That decapitated head was moving around as well. What kind of operation are you running here? Animals still
That's
moving
when I do
after
my
they're
heel
dead.
turn.
Yes.
To me, does this rat look dead and not moving?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And everything else is just kind of moving like someone ran by it or something.
Yeah, it's pretty clear the poison you put down took care of that rat.
Yeah, as it should. Townsfolk get a little persnickety when there's a live rat running around in the establishment. You got to keep them clear out.
And that, but what's with all the moving?
The moving, you might have hit it with when you were looking around for whatever. Now that rat's dead. I'm pointing with the knife. These are just waving around as they do. Sometimes the earth shakes up here. Maybe that's what caused it. Makes you feel a little spooky, you know. And put that shroud back on. We don't need to see this.
I'm not going anywhere near that thing. I'll be honest.
All right, we'll hold the lantern.
I'll hold the lantern.
And
That's fine.
I will maneuver my many weapons so I can flick the shroud back over the corpse.
You do.
And then I will find the thing that I've been putting the dead rats in so I can take it out.
An old
the
pickle
rat
barrel.
bucket.
Yeah. I think you're muted, Zero.
Oh. No,
or
I'm
I
not.
can't hear anything. One of the two.
I believe I can hear you, bud.
Oh.
It's Irene might have the issue.
It's you.
Me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she put
I'll do those things.
Yeah.
And then I will it's all taken care of. We'll just head back upstairs while I figure out my sound really quick.
Cool.
I
Yeah.
have an awful lot of difficulty trying to sleep after that whole thing. Falls asleep instantly.
Cool. Yeah, everything's fine. I don't know what you're so anxious about there, Rick.
Well, narrator, I get very scared at moving animals.
I mean, you're all up. Are you going to do anything, or are you ready to try to get some more sleep?
I'm going to try to sleep.
Do you tell us about what you saw down there, or did Irene scare you off?
Look, I don't want to talk about it. I'll get to it in the morning.
All right. Well, if there was nothing down there, then I guess we can go back to sleep.
Yeah, it's fine and normal, I say, hearing things now.
Well, that's what happens when you get old. Sometimes the old ears give out.
Yeah.
So as this group the ladies making their way back up to the second story, Rick. Bedding back down on your little pallet. Cameron, how are you doing?
Got everything, put away for the evening. Double check the distillers. Put some, got some more, a couple of roots and stuff into the oven to dry overnight. And then, some self-medicating and going to sleep.
I mean, some say that doctors make the worst patients, but you are one of your own best patients. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, some say don't get high on your own supply, but it's quality control is what it is.
I think it's still dark, but the sky has that purple tinge above the mountains to suggest that it won't be dark for long. When you hear a pounding on your door.
Jump up, grab a sharp club-like implement that I keep nearby. That's probably actually a tool for something. And go and very carefully crack open the door.
You see on your dilapidated porch what passes for your closest neighbor.
Good morning.
One Mrs. Matthey. Bit of a bundle of energy. You haven't really spoken about your family history, but maybe has a little bit of Irish fire in her. Also, sometimes a good patient of yours. And she seems angry, really.
It's early. What's going on?
Have you been picking out of my garden?
What? No. Why would I do that? There's the mountains still give me plenty.
Well, you were talking just the other day about how hard it is to find stuff, and I wake up this morning and I go out to my herb garden and it's been trampled. Someone came in and ripped up half of my plants, and
I don't know what you're talking about, but there's some new people in town.
no one comes up here.
I know. Can't this wait until it's a little bit light? I'll even come over and help you look. We'll find some footprints or something.
Well, I'm not going to go out there by myself, am I? If there's someone else that I don't know just tramping around, they could be lying in wait inside a bush for me to drop my guard, and they will come and do all kinds of nameless things to me.
So you're not going to wait?
Well, what do you expect me to do? Go back and put myself at the mercies of some strange vagabond who just rips up herb gardens for no reason? Wait here on your porch for a bear to wander by? Snatch me up?
Yeah. Come in. We'll go and...
It would not be proper for me to spend time in your parlor, Mr. Cameron. I'm a married woman. Her husband, unlike Irene's, who is definitely dead, her husband did run off. He found the grueling hours as a lumberman not to his taste, and he did find, however, the whiskey very much to his taste. So word has it he's down south in one of the bigger cities living it up.
Good for him. All right, I will inside, I'll grab the lantern, get it lit, set it outside, say just give me 2 minutes.
Well, and you never know, you might even be able to help me save some of the plants. Looks like half of them were just trampled.
Yep. And I just agree, slowly shut the door, go in, overalls on, grab a second lantern, grab up some spruce gum and something else to just start chewing, some good some energy, and then head out. All right, let's go and see what we can find out.
And what are you bringing with you?
So I got a lantern. I've got usual snacks and gum. I don't even have a gun. So I guess just a big probably a hoe.
Okay.
That's gonna be use that to dig up root vegetables on a regular basis. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, it's not a far walk. You and Miss Matthew live far enough apart that you don't have to cross each other's paths if you don't want to. So maybe long enough for the purple in the sky to get a little bit pinker, and for you to be able to start to see more of the surrounding landscape with outside the circle of your lantern light. It's not far off from dawn.
As we're walking, I'll start asking her, so what? Did you hear something that woke you up and made you go look, or what?
Well, no, I get up early.
But you're not gardening that early.
Well, no, but I went outside. And I saw that someone had caused all sorts of damage. And the only person who comes up here, comes near my place is you. And I thought maybe you were trying out a new formulation of your perfectly legal elixir. And perhaps it was a bit stronger than you were used to. Perhaps you decided that it was too much trouble to go out into the woods. And you thought you would come and raid my little herb garden.
No, I went down to that train accident, came home, and
I
went
heard
straight
about
to
that.
bed.
I heard everyone died.
Not everyone. We brought 3 people back.
Were they mangled?
No, they were fine. They were fine. Nice people.
I also heard there was a Babcock on that train.
Yeah.
Was he one of the ones that came back alive? Or was he one of the ones that was horribly crushed and destroyed and killed in a painful, agonizing way?
Well, I can tell you no Babcock came back on the cart with me.
Good. Fewer of them around, the better.
Agreed.
My Abner once met one of the Babcock brothers. And of course, it filled his head with all sorts of fantasies that he would be chosen to work for them, and he would wind up working in some fancy office in a big city. And he kept promising me, I'll buy you the prettiest dresses, and we'll have a lovely house in town, and and blah blah, etc. As he usually was. You remember him. I just told him, Abner, no one wants you. You don't have any skills. You can barely chop down a tree. He was always a little bit big for his britches.
Mm-hmm.
Not like you. You look skinny. Are you eating okay?
I'm doing fine. I just, I spend a lot of time outdoors. It's all good.
Well, I would offer you to make you something delicious that would stick to your bones, but someone has destroyed my herb garden.
We'll take care of it. I'll I need to, I'll go and find more.
Well, we're almost there. And yeah, her place is a little bit larger than yours. Whatever she says about her erstwhile husband, probably a fairly good carpenter, because it looks pretty well put together. There are a few, it doesn't have the full Victorian gingerbread treatment, but there are a few little curly cues and finials here and there. It's obviously someone spent a little bit of time trying to make this a pleasant home. And you know that Mrs. Matthew keeps it reasonably well. The yard is a little bit overgrown. Chickens out of their coop.
Mm-hmm. Just looking. I mean, just you know, as I do, as Cameron does, walking around, you know, Mystic Sense, just trying to keep an eye on if anything just feels a little bit out of place.
Yeah. There's what you smell with your nose is fresh spruce, earth, the clean smell of a nearby stream. But under that, you smell decay.
Yeah, then I you know, I'll be taking a look to see if there's any, you know, did something get left out? Did, you know, forget to pick some things and they've just rotted in the ground?
You're gonna investigate her little garden plot. Cool. Let's see. You have light. I just think it's difficulty 3. Intellect and perception or investigation, or well, there might be other skills. I don't want to give it away.
I do not have that much that isn't either herbalism or magic. So
Okay.
I will go for the intellect. I've got intellect edge, so I will just go ahead and spend 2 points to drop that down. On a 16.
Oh. Well, something definitely disturbed this little garden plot from below.
Just gophers, moles.
It would have to be a mighty big mole. Yeah.
Find where we have, you know, a couple of like a big disturbed plant or something, and just dig a little bit. Use the hoe and just kind of see, you know, is there any sign of what was crawling around, or any sign of, you know.
I think with that
tunnel.
roll, you dig around for a little bit, and now with your physical senses, you can smell a little something. It's not terribly unpleasant, like humus or compost, but you do feel something, and you tug on it, and it's kind of hold it up in the light. It's a strip of cloth, and there's a little bit of a metal badly corroded clasp, and you kind of look at it for a few minutes before you realize it's the strap of a pair of overalls.
I don't mean to be too forward here, But is your husband back here?
My husband's down south, drinking away
Oh.
every dollar he ever saved and gambling away whatever's left. Probably spending a penny here and there on some loose women. You know how he was.
I'll take the fabric over and hold it up in the lantern for her to see.
Well, I don't know why anyone would bury some old clothes outside.
I don't either, but I don't know whether we go and we get the sheriff right away or we make sure that he doesn't find out.
Why would we get the sheriff for a little scrap of cloth, Cameron?
I'll just shake my head and set that scrap aside and go back to digging.
Well, while you're digging around, how about I make us a cup of coffee?
Yeah, sure. I'll pull out a small pouch of dried chicory and hand it to her as well.
Oh, all right. She'll take it. She goes inside. You hear the door bang. You hear some rustling around, maybe, a pot, the dunk of a ladle in a bucket of water. Hear maybe the strike of a match, the foof of a fire being lit. You're going to keep digging?
Yeah.
Yeah, you find a few more badly rotted scraps, kind of move to another area. I think you probably find a mostly decayed remnant of a boot. And then
Right.
I think you have a sense that someone's very near you.
I will just as calmly as possible, kind of regrip the hoe and look around.
You look behind you, and there's Miss Matthew, holding a double-barrel shotgun. She has an odd look in her face. What did I tell you, Abner, about coming home late? What did I
Ms.
tell
Matthew,
you would happen if you ever disrespected me like this again? Have you been with her?
It's Cameron, Miss Matthew.
Oh.
It's your neighbor Cameron.
Oh, so it's going to be excuses again. What did I tell you would happen if you came home late with these excuses, expecting me? Do you think I'm a fool, Abner? I mean, I must be a fool for marrying you after all, stuck out here in the woods with a ne'er-do-well like you. What did I tell you? It can't have been more than 2 days ago, Abner. What did I tell you would happen if you came home late again? She cocks the shotgun.
I would like to use my hedge magic. And so I came out, I was digging, my lantern's obviously nearby. I would like to knock my lantern over with my hedge magic.
Okay.
As an attempt at a distraction and to, darken the area.
Okay. So you're not trying to fling it into her to like light her on fire or anything like that. You're just trying to knock it over, put it out.
Correct.
Okay. I assume that's an intellect roll, right?
So hedge magic, it says it takes 1 intellect point.
Oh, we just have to spend.
I also have edge.
Oh yeah. So it's just a minor thing like this. I think is just a thing that you can just do.
So my intention is attempt to knock that over and then run the opposite direction toward whatever sort of cover I can find.
Well, the woods are real nearby.
Yeah, that's
cool. Well, that just happens. Give me a. It's definitely going to be a roll with speed. I think it is probably going to be. Ooh. It's not that bad. I think it's probably just difficulty 3, right? Like this is like it's going to require your attention.
Mhm.
But there's a pretty good chance of the average person succeeding. And I'm counting that as it would be harder, but she is. But I'm applying an ease on that because she is distracted, especially since she was kind of sitting there looking at you with the lantern light in her face, and now it's gone dark.
great. I'm just gonna roll that straight and hope.
All right.
12.
Okay.
Hey.
So you just kind of scrabble back a little bit and then kind of turn over and then just bust out running into the woods. It is now quite dark because you're underneath the canopy. I think when you slam into something, you think you must have hit a tree, but there's a softness to it. Kind of a pillowy give that doesn't feel like any tree trunk you've encountered before.
Okay. I mean, running high on adrenaline, attempting to get away from somebody with a shotgun, went from working next to a lantern to complete darkness. I kind of, I don't know, feel it a little bit, try to orient myself, try to figure out, like, what's not processing right here that I'm not realizing what this is. This should be familiar in some way. So what's not clicking?
Oh, it's a person.
Okay. Just kind of shush them as I try to catch my breath and make sure that they don't shout out and draw a mad woman with a shotgun toward us.
Well, they must have gotten the message because they're very quiet. You feel what is obviously a man's hand, a little chilly.
Look.
Kind of
you gotta-
reach out and touch your wrist.
I'll pat the hand.
And then the hand
just
starts working its way to your elbow, your forearm. A little.
Miss Matthews out there with a shotgun. Just relax. Just relax.
It's a little familiar in a way that perhaps is not super comfortable, but it's gentle as it kind of crawls its way up your shoulder. Like maybe he's gonna give you one of those, reassuring.
At that point, like, it's a little bit like try to brush them off a little bit, like just chill,
And then snap around your neck with an ungodly strength. That's for sure going to be a might defense. Difficulty
Yeah.
12.
Well, that's not a very big pool. So I will spend 1 point of effort. So that's 3 points, right? Since I have no edge there. And I did not prep any of my ciphers. All right. So attempting that roll. Sorry, what did you say was the difficulty on
Difficulty
that?
4.
So 12, I spend the point, bring it down to a 3 for 9. 7?
And we only have one minor boon to kick it up to an 8. You could spend a major to re-roll.
Do it.
Yeah, if Is there one?
Yeah, there's
there
There
one
is
major.
one.
Yes, if the rest of the party is okay with that, then yes, I will
Go
use
for
that
it.
to
It seems
reroll.
bad for you right now.
It's fine. You're just making a new friend.
A 7 again?
Oops. Yeah, it's not a. I mean, it's strong, and it's enough to cut off your breathing. But it doesn't seem to be violent almost. It's like it's not, there's no anger behind it. There's no yelling, no punching, no kicking, no shaking. It's as quiet as this individual was before. You could hear Mrs. Matthew in the background calling for Abner.
Any chance of me like wiggling away from this?
I mean, you got a hoe.
Yeah, I guess I attempt to up near somebody, right? Trying to swing and break their grip.
Yeah. It's the same difficulty because it's based on your friend's level.
Surely you're due now
Right.
for high roll.
Yeah, right. That's 15.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, you it's a little bit of flailing. And then you feel the head of the hoe strike home. Like in that moment up close, you can hear as the blade of the hoe strikes flesh and then bone and then cut through it.
Great. That's a wonderful feeling, I'm sure.
And I think you've been able to kind of get enough leverage that you can breathe. He still got you. But we think a hoe is probably a light weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I am going to attempt to use one of my ciphers then. Like if I can breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
I drop the hoe.
Well, you let go of the hoe.
Yeah.
It's embedded.
I get into my herb pouch, and I've got a small amount of powder that I shove into my mouth. And I begin to change. I made the powder from the bone of an animal that I left in the hollow of a tree for a year and a day. And I transform for an hour into that animal.
And what is the animal?
It gives a whole bunch of examples here. Do I just get to pick one?
Yeah.
Great. I transform into a red wolf.
And I think with that, there's enough just force in that transformation that your friend loses his grip.
Great. I get their movement, 2 assets to pretend to be that animal, an asset on 1 skill appropriate to it. That's it. So as soon as I break free, I'm just booking it perpendicular to the line between this thing and Miss Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
Through the woods in wolf form.
Oh, I hear you out there in those woods, Abner. You don't think you can get away from me, do you? I think as you run away very swiftly, you hear faintly the kind of, or we cinematically hear kind of in the background, kind of becoming slightly more and more faint. Well, there you are, Abner. What do you have to say for yourself? Don't just sit there still and quiet. And are you mocking me? Now, Abner, you know I don't like you this close, especially not when you've been drinking. Abner, what are you doing? And then we probably hear a boom, boom. Abner? No, Abner. I mean, who knows?
I keep running.
Yeah,
It's fine.
you got an hour. Where are you going?
Home seems dangerous. I don't want to. If either of them make it out of that, I don't want to lead them there or be there. Then again, I'm a wolf. I want to get to the edge of civilization.
Okay.
Like somewhere, I know that a lot of the town has been logged around, but at least somewhere where, when I come out of wolf form, I can easily walk into town.
Yeah. And as is often the case, there's a little bit of low-lying fog, especially in the kind of stumpy area, kind of rolling off the Blackwater River. And yeah, very quickly you're able to make your way down and probably hide yourself amongst the stumps.
When I have the moment to catch my breath, is there anything that I could attempt to understand about what was going on there? What that thing was that took a hoe blade to
Well, how about you tell me what you think and I'll tell you if it's right.
I mean, so Cameron is specialized in understanding magic. Does it seem like any of the bodies or any of the things that I saw down at the train? Was there any matching sense?
I think on that front, you have that same sensation of another piece clicking into place. Still don't have a full picture, but you just, it's almost like an audible click of this is another piece of whatever. So is there a connection? You suspect so. Is it exactly the same? No. But I think no roll necessary. That was 100% Abner.
Oh.
Now, how he wound up underneath Mrs. Matthew's garden plot, we can just speculate. But I think you probably have the evidence you need to come to a reasonable conclusion.
Yeah, then in that case, it's going to be, I'm waiting to be able to transform back, go into town, rally up, the sheriff, whoever we need to for a good old proper posse.
Oh.
To go and check that out.
Okay. Yeah. I think I think we can just, that just happens. It's still relatively early in the morning. I think Irene, Maura, and Rick and Annie are just kind of stirring. Maybe Irene's putting together some slab bacon and eggs for breakfast. Maybe some biscuits, sourdough, of course.
I do have a cast iron griddle right
Yeah,
here on my equipment sheet.
absolutely.
That group will be the second stop of my morning.
So I think you're able to. It's early in the morning. I think maybe the sheriff isn't at the office, but I'm sure you know where he lives. And perhaps you catch him just as he's leaving. Oh, Cameron. No word yet. I think we're expecting the railroad investigator as soon as they can get here. Maybe late today, maybe tomorrow. I did get word from Babcock. They're most concerned. I think they'll be sending a few representatives along.
Yeah, I mean, I'll, somewhat panicked, fill in, sorry, I suppose not panicked at this point, but exhausted, right? Still tired, woke up early, not sure what happened. And just start explaining, we need to go out to Miss Matthews. We need a couple people with us.
Now, hold on, Cameron. What is it you're saying happened?
Miss Matthew woke me up early. Abner was back, and I think she shot him.
In years. Oh, you think she shot him?
I think she shot him.
Well, I wouldn't blame her abandoning her like that for all these years.
It's weird though. You need to have weapons or something. Like, I don't know. He wasn't acting right. She wasn't acting right. She thought I was him. Something was digging up her garden. I don't know what's going on.
Well, if Abner came back and was digging up her garden, which is mighty strange, I might say, perhaps she thought he was a ne'er-do-well, didn't realize it was her long-lost husband returned from gallivanting around who knows where and shot him, which is her right. I see what you're saying, Cameron. I know we have to investigate. I'm just saying, I'm not, especially with everything else happening in town, I'm not particularly inclined to jail Miss Matthew for, some might say, doing the Lord's work, if indeed she has killed Abner.
No, she there was someone digging around. She came in, she got me. She asked me to come and look with her. She was going to make coffee. She came back out and she was crazy. She had a shotgun. She was trying to accuse me of running off. I ran away. I ran into Abner. He wasn't acting normal. He tried to attack me.
You and Miss Matthew haven't been.
No. She's a married woman. That's
Well,
no.
Not anymore, apparently, if your story is true.
Look, we need to go out there. We need to be careful.
Well, you, my friend, need to keep your nose out of police business. If indeed there has been a crime committed, I would say, I don't know if I would call us friends, but we're certainly in the vein of friendly colleagues at time. I do appreciate the service that you provide this town. I would hate for you to unnecessarily move from the witness to the suspect category if there is indeed going to be an investigation. So perhaps the less you say about whatever's going on between you and Miss Matthew, and potentially Abner coming home and seeing something strange, and I'll pull together a deputy and we'll go out and we'll see what's happening. Give me a chance to get out of town. There's frankly very little I like less than waiting around. There's not much for me to do about the train accident until the proper authorities arrive. I would say don't make yourself too scarce just in case there's some additional questions. I'm not telling you don't leave town because it's going to be hard to leave town what with the train line being down, but make yourself available as need be. Otherwise, don't go spreading tales. People in town have enough to worry about.
I will kind of resign myself at that point and say, oh, okay, I'll be over at Irene's.
All right. We'll tell her hi from me.
Yep.
And keep an
Will
eye
do.
on those people, the survivors. Something doesn't quite strike me right about them.
Yep.
All right, then.
Yep.
Well, good day to you.
Yeah. Yep. Have a good one, and just be careful. I'll let him go and head over to Irene's.
Yeah, Irene, you hear the tap or rap of knuckles on the glass front door. It's not yet opening time.
Who is it?
It's Cameron.
Oh, you hear noises as I bustle over from wherever I'm cooking. Somewhere in this house, rest shop, there's a place to cook. Anyway, open the door. Oh, Cameron, good to see you. I look you up and down. I say, you look like shit. No offense.
Yeah,
Have a rough night?
rough
Come
rough
in,
morning.
we're having breakfast.
Uh,
I put some extra on for you. I thought you might be round.
I highly appreciate it. And I'll, pull out. I don't know. I got some onions. Some wild onions. I'll pull those out and hand them over as well. There's strange things happening, Irene.
You can tell me about it. I do take the onions and start chopping them with my giant butcher's knife. It's handy for all things.
It's
Um,
universal.
You definitely wash it assiduously every time you use it, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's definitely washed. And by washed, I mean this nice apron wiped across it. You always know a good butcher by how dirty their apron is, much like you know a good doctor by how dirty they are.
We got those 1910s food safety standards.
Yeah. And I'll, say good morning to everybody. And then look at Irene. Abner came back.
No, he didn't. I don't think Abner's coming back.
No, he came back. Matthew's garden was all messed up. I was out there trying to look and see if something got into it, something was digging it up or whatever. She thought I was Abner suddenly. Like we were doing fine and talking. She went inside. She came back out with a shotgun. Was coming after me. I ran into the woods, and I ran into Abner. Matthew followed.
Are you sure you ran into Abner? Abner Matthew.
Yeah, something like him at least. It grabbed hold of me. I managed to get away, but Matthew caught up and shot him.
Well, that's not too surprising.
She was doing the Lord's work. Now, Irene, Cameron does have the beginnings of a bruise around his neck.
I ran into the sheriff. I sent him out there, but he doesn't seem interested.
Well, sort of private business between a wife and her husband.
Ex-husband.
Yeah. I personally think that Irene might know where exactly he was the whole time. But we don't talk about this because it's fine. It's normal. However, that's probably why she's extra like, Abner, really? Are you sure? But there is evidence, so they're like, okay, well, there's something going on. We had a bit, nothing as lively as what you ran into last night, it seems, but there was a bit of disturbance. Rick here thought all the critters downstairs were moving. They weren't.
They
They
were.
were dead.
They were. We can agree on that. But they were moving.
I just thought I saw something outside. Some man, I guess. And unfortunately, I woke everyone up trying to figure out what was happening. And I have apologized. I do apologize again. We could have had a full night's sleep without all that mess.
Well, unless we forget, the man was familiar. Not
Was familiar.
the man, the silhouette seemed reminiscent of someone you saw yesterday. Not particularly elegant, but
Not elegant.
not elegant, but
Okay.
large,
Okay.
beefy.
Large. It's just I could have swore that I saw someone that I saw on the train. I know that's not possible.
Sorry, there was a
But
fourth
that's-
survivor.
I mean, I guess there are three of us, so why couldn't there be four?
I guess so.
Well, I'm sure the inquest will get a full record of who was on the train and account for the passenger list, but until then, wouldn't really know. Weird that you didn't see him before, though. That we didn't see him there. That he make it to town.
It is weird. I'm not saying it's not weird.
The fact that he did not appear after you thought you saw him and then he disappeared. And then he woke us all up in the middle of the night after creeping
And I-
into my cellar.
I really am deeply sorry about all that. Here, can I help making the breakfast?
Oh no, it's almost done, sweetie.
If you're sure.
Look at these eggs. They're so cheap and plentiful.
Cameron,
Yes.
I think with all this talk, your eyes keep being drawn to the cellar door. I think you have a sense, again, not that something is actively happening per se,
Mm-hmm.
but, or maybe it is, maybe it's slow, maybe it's hidden, maybe it happened and just left an echo. But there's a definite hair on the forearms rising kind of chill coming from the cellar.
Great. Based off on everything that just happened, I think I want to kind of try to sit on it, try to shake it, eat breakfast, just let everything flush from my system, get some food.
Yeah. The sun, it takes a while because, of course, you're down in the valley and the sun has to crest the mountains. But the sun finally rises. It shines through the front window of Irene's butcher shop. I think everyone would notice, whoever the first person to pass by would notice, there's a a stain on the window. Well, more like a pattern in the dirt. I think the first person, we'll say it's Mora, just happens to walk by and kind of you do a double take because for a half a second you think that there's someone standing outside looking in, casting a shadow. It's very clearly the outline of a rather bulky man. But as you look again, it's just a dark film on the glass.
Are any of the other windows dirty?
I mean, they're all kind of dirty.
But this one is
Yeah.
more.
It's quite noticeable.
Okay. Irene, honey, is that what your window looked like yesterday?
No. Usually
That's-
doesn't have an outline of a man. Is this the mystery man you saw then?
I think it looks like it could be about the right size for the mystery man I saw. That's weird, though, that there'd be an outline on the window.
Yeah. Well, it's nothing a bit of old elbow grease can't fix. Says the person the least inclined for noticing anything magical in any situation.
Well, I think you can't help but notice the sooty, cindery footprints that lead from the window towards the cellar.
Oh, like inside.
Inside. Okay, now this is weird.
So we have footprints going to the cellar. It was dark, but I don't remember seeing any footprints when we looked last night.
Well, someone did.
Someone did.
Oh, I saw some.
You
saw some cindery footprints, Rick?
Yeah,
You didn't
absolutely.
think to mention that?
I was in the midst of a panic attack concerning your dead moving animals.
Dead animals don't move.
Apparently they do.
I think dead
No.
husbands usually don't move either.
That is also true.
So we
is
got
that-
footprints going from the window to the cellar, and there were footprints in the cellar. Maybe the animals were moving because someone was in there with you.
I did not see anybody else in there with me.
All right. Should we look again?
Maybe we should look again.
Look, you guys can go look again. I'm gonna hang out here and enjoy my night after having to investigate a veritable menagerie of moving, hanging animals. How about that?
Menagerie and animals. Strong men they make out. Where are you from? East? You up in New York or something?
From Texas.
Texas. Oh, yes. The state? I say checking the year. I don't know anything. Okay. I go down. I open the cellar door and head on down with my knife. It's knife time again.
I follow you down.
As a big brave man, I do follow.
Okay.
Oh, good. Thank you, Camden.
I also follow with stabby knife.
Start songwriting.
Thank you, Annie. Slightly more suspicious.
And he pulls out a really long blade and holds it up.
Just a big katana sword.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, okay. Oh, everything's fine down here. What are you talking about? I mean, there are some cindery footprints.
Any mystic sense going off?
Yeah. But it's that same feeling you had on the train, the watchfulness. But you do maybe get a sense that There's a thing that happens where it's happened to you a few times, where you'll cross someone's path. Like maybe you're down in Parsons for some reason, and you'll cross just a stranger's path or step into their shadow and get an immediate sense of badness. Kind of like, a black cat crosses your path, but real. I think you have the sense that you are literally crossing the path of someone who is up to no good. And I think that manifests as like you can almost hear slow, heavy, deliberate footfalls on the packed earth. You can almost hear the faint hiss of cinders raining down. That person is not present, but they have left behind a shadow.
Yeah, I will. I'll mention. There's definitely something weird down here, and I'm kind of fiddling with things. I will grab a small piece of fabric from my pack and tuck it into my left pocket.
Okay.
That is a jag of luck. Just in case I need that later. But otherwise, just very, visibly uncomfortable being down here.
Just to confirm, we still have the same number of bodies down here that we are expecting to have, right?
4 little bundles, all nice and tidy.
Okay. And Irene, got the right number of animal carcasses ready for butchery? Or whatever is stored down here?
Yeah. It's the deer, the lamb. And I took out the rat. Took care of that one. That poison's working nicely, Cameron.
That's the bad stuff.
Exactly.
All right. Well, it's bad down here. We've got footprints.
And the footprints lead to the bodies, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of standing at the body's feet and kind of milling around a bit.
I am going to, just to check, I know Rick checked last night. I am going to pull back one of the shrouds just to take a look. Looks normal?
Yeah.
Okay. I put the shroud back.
Well, this is odd. It is something.
It is something.
Nothing is weird, though.
Now, Cameron.
Well,
you are trained in crafting, right?
Crafting is the one thing I cannot do.
I'm trained in crafting.
You are trained in crafting.
I can understand.
Got it. If indeed strange things are afoot, there could be a little, like maybe it occurs to Mora that you might be able to do something with a pinch of those cinders. Maybe a little piece of the shroud clipped off. Maybe dirt from under where one of the bodies has been laid. Maybe a few chips of bone from the butcher table. There's some salt. There's some things you might be able to do.
All right. I think I start bustling. I start collecting the ingredients for this crafting exercise. After it occurs to me that I have the exact things that I need for some sort of working.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think, are you looking to make something relatively simple and easy? Are you looking to try to make something more powerful?
I think something more powerful.
All right.
It just seemed like rare ingredients, relatively speaking.
All right. Yes. I think we're going to set that at difficulty 7.
Spicy.
Yes. But eased once for your training, because you're not specialized, right? You're just trained or practiced. So you're trained. Eased once to 6. Eased twice because you have... actually, no. Yes, eased twice because of the fact that you have in front of you some imbued ingredients. This isn't normal. Mm-hmm. These aren't normal cinders by any means. Mm-hmm. So that would take us down to difficulty 4. You think it's probably going to take... I'll apply that same easing to the time, probably about a day. That means it's the only thing you can do in a day, but it's going to take about a day of letting stuff seep and drying stuff out, grinding it up.
Hey, that's downright reasonable considering that some things take a year in a day.
Yeah. So just because it's fun to show how crafting a cipher works, go ahead. And someone is running low on ciphers. Let's go ahead and roll that up and see how it goes.
Can I also spend pool?
Yeah.
Could I help you? I'm quite helpful. Because if you're just running around in the place grabbing things, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think I explained a little bit about being a crafter, and I'm butchered some bones from some of your animals are part of the ingredients, so I asked for your help.
Oh yeah, of course. I can grab some of those things for you. You know my grandmother used to be all about this kind of, charm making stuff. I got a few things that she handed down to me, take stock in what you will and all that.
Well, ain't that just the thing? That's mighty kind of you.
And remind me, are you trained in crafting?
I'm not, but I'm helpful. Whenever you help another character, that character gains the benefit as if you were trained in that.
There you go.
Wow.
I'm just here and helping. And that's good enough. I don't ask too many questions.
Yeah, so we'll ease that one further.
And then I assume this is intellect?
Yes.
So I will spend 2, I have edge, so I'll spend 2 intellect to ease it one more step.
Ooh, that knocks it down to 2. If I did my math right.
We'll see if the dice agree. 16.
Ooh, well done. Yes. So I was going to say, what cipher do you want to craft? But you don't have a list. Ooh. well, you went with you wanted to go with something that's a higher level. Let me think for a little bit. By think I mean scroll through ciphers for a second, because we want one that levels up with use, or with level, that actually has an advanced capability. Yeah, I think you've set something to simmer
Brew.
and bubble and dry and things like that. You're sure it's going to be useful, but you're not quite sure what it's going to make yet. Cool. That'll be fun.
Thank you, Irene. You were very helpful.
Yeah, no problem. Now we just wait, you said.
Oh, about a day.
About a day. Perfect. Nothing will happen. Till then, I'm sure.
Surely not.
Interesting. Cool. So what happens? Sorry, I'm looking at lists going, ooh, that's cool. Ooh, what about that?
Well, this is most odd that there are these footprints here that seem to have come in the night when we were all asleep, somehow phased through the window and the door to the cellar, unless they opened it real quiet like, which is not easy to do. Maybe
It's
this
not.
is something to tell. Yes. Maybe this is something to tell that railway inquest fella. I wonder if they've been having trouble. If we had someone look at our bodies here, I wonder if they had some trouble at the morgue.
Is that a thing we could go check on without?
Oh, yeah, we could go check in the morgue. It's perfectly fine.
All right. I mean, maybe we should. We'll
It
at least
sounds
know that we aren't the
fun.
only ones.
Yeah.
Does it
All
sound
right.
fun?
We can give you all a tour of the town too while we're out and about. See some of the town folk round. Might have some questions for you as what the train crash and everything. Of course, many people probably out working still today, you know. Mills never close. Mines never close, except when they collapse, of course.
Of course. So lead the way, I suppose.
Just I was am I able to use my insight ability at this time, Zero?
I don't see why not.
All right. So the insight ability, the voices have many things to tell you, and some of them are beneficial. After a 10-hour period, you can use this a player intrusion, which is I interject some sort of idea. My idea is that I started songwriting, and I'm trying to get this idea for the last stanza, the redemption stanza, and I have ideas, but I'm just like trying to check it with my like intuition, whether it's a good thing to do or not. And it goes as follows: strike at the shadow and cinders, uphold the pact once made, stop all these dusty devils, or the land will collect its pay. And that's it. And I'm trying to think, is this any good? Is this a good song? I'm saying to myself.
Take an XP.
Ooh. There we go. 2. It was worth doing. All right. Wait a second.
Okay. I know exactly what it is.
All right.
So before I forget, add blessed darkness, Mora.
Blessed darkness.
Yeah. Now you're going to want to find someone to give it to because I think you're at your
I
or
do have
you could
3 right now.
or you could, hand someone something else. I think is
Yeah.
Cameron the only one who's down a cipher? Cool. So you don't have to hand that one, but you know that all your charms and sachets and poppets and things tend to start acting real strange if you have too many of them. Sometimes they just stop working. Sometimes they work too well or in strange ways. So, you probably only want to carry a couple of them with you at any given time. So the question is, do you wish to keep this? What has happened is you have taken the cinders and the soil and the bones and the salt, maybe a little bit of bacon grease, and kind of boiled it all down into kind of a slightly gritty, waxy lump. Looks a bit like a lump of coal. Has a strange smell to it. Doesn't smell like coal at all. But you know that if you break that in half, you'll be able to see in absolute pitch darkness. And perhaps be able to perceive the things that hide in darkness. You and or whoever uses it. So that would be blessed darkness.
I kind of feel like I should take this since I don't carry a lantern. Let me think about that. Blessed darkness. But all these things are so cool.
Just give it to the guy who had to fight.
I can look
yeah,
at
I
the
was
table.
like, I will
In the dark.
hand Cameron the blessed darkness.
Okay.
Your harrowing tale.
Okay. So Cameron, you now have blessed darkness.
Great.
Which is maybe thematically appropriate. We'll see. But yes, that intrusion, if you will, is fully accepted, Rick, and completely on point. So, what happens?
Oh, we're going to the morgue. As we should.
Yeah. I think, the sheriff is on his way up to check on Mrs. Matthey. I'm sure he'll find nothing distressing up there.
He'll be all right.
But there's probably a deputy or someone who will, oh, Miss Irene, what can I do for you?
Oh, hello. So you know how we have some of those bodies from that terrible train accident, in my cellar, as there wasn't room here in the
Yes,
morgue?
ma'am.
We had some sort of incident last night. There's evidence that some stranger came poking around the butcher shop at those bodies. It's very strange. I was wondering if you had any similar incident here. There was like some cindery footprints.
Well, that's most upsetting. I can't imagine anyone
It
here in
was
town
indeed.
would even know there are bodies in your cellar, much less
Well,
break in just to get a look at them.
yeah, it's very strange. Now, I did have a little conversation with the sheriff outside my house, so maybe someone overheard. Cut to the part where I was yelling loudly
Right.
at the sheriff.
Well, I guess somebody could have gotten curious. I don't think they'd come here. All the folks we could fit are locked up. But I can go check.
Oh yeah, if you could please. It'd really ease my mind.
he kind of has you wait. You hear him, kind of see him pull a ring of keys off his belt. You hear him jangling as he kind of goes back. I think they probably just have him like stacked in a shady cell or something. There's not really a morgue. It's not really a thing. But as he goes out of eye shot for a second, you hear some rattling. And then a few minutes later, he comes back and he's kind of looking at his fingers, kind of doing this. So, well, I'm happy to report that our guests are still resting comfortably. But there was this strange, you said something about soot?
Yeah, some kind of sticky soot.
Yeah.
Oh no, was here too, huh?
Doesn't smell good.
No,
I wonder if
I don't expect so.
I wonder if maybe one of the miners around here. I mean, there aren't that many, but maybe a miner got a word that there had been an accident and maybe they had a loved one on the train. You'd think they would just come to the authorities and ask, though. It's
And
real
not
strange.
creep in the middle of the night. Wasn't here yesterday, was it?
No, I don't think
Not
so.
you remember?
Not that I ever saw.
You wouldn't mind if these gentlemen here take a look with you just to see if it looked like the stuff at my place. I wouldn't want to upset the ladies here.
Not at all. Oh, hey there, Cameron. And I don't think I know you. Looking at Rick.
My name's Mr. Schlink.
Schlenk, is that German?
Yeah, from the Flensburg, Germany.
My
But I'm from
grandma's
Texas.
My grandma's German. Oh, from
He's
Texas.
from Texas.
Oh, well, howdy.
Yes, that's right. Howdy, how you doing? We say in the worst.
Yeehaw! Pew pew pew. I got cousins down in Texas.
No, I got cousins down in Texas too. Maybe they know each other.
Doesn't seem likely, does it?
I don't know.
Texas is known for being small, easily traversed, and everyone knows each other.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, I mean, you're welcome to come take a look. Just don't, mess with anything you aren't supposed to.
All right.
He'll lead Cameron and Rick in, and yes, indeed. It appears to be very similar. Same kind of.
Interesting.
It's more cinders than soot,
Okay.
but fine cinders.
And is there like an area, like a strange entry point, like with the glass window, with the silhouette on the window? All right. Interesting. Well, it seems to be the same thing, and I don't know what this thing wants to do with a bunch of bodies.
Well, I do think it's probably just maybe a drunken miner trying to get a little bit of a thrill, or like I said, maybe could be someone got word of the accident, didn't get in town until late, didn't want to wait, and now is maybe sleeping it off. Maybe they found what they were looking for, and
Yeah, that would. You could say that, but the weird defacement of the windows is a little bit bizarre. Like,
And it's not well known that Irene's place is being used, is it?
no. But someone could have overheard.
I suppose so.
Well,
Yet again, it
we'll
doesn't-
keep an eye out and make sure. And we'll keep them locked up.
right.
We'll make sure nobody but the investigator gets a chance to look at them.
All right. Maybe we should try to take a little bit of an extra look there. See if we find anything different there, Cameron.
Yeah, sure. I mean, especially with my senses.
All right.
It's the same. I wouldn't even make you roll. It's clearly the same thing.
Okay.
But like you don't get a sense that this is like significantly more recent or anything different happened. Someone came and visited last night, and that someone gives you the heebie-jeebies.
All right. I don't know if we have any leads here, but we'll tell the group about it, and I don't know. Maybe we could talk to Annie. Maybe she has some sort of intuition about it that might help us out here.
Hey, while they were all back there, was there anything interesting on his desk? Just like, glancing over. I'm nosy.
Oh.
I don't think I'm very perceptive, but I'm nosy.
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and see what you can see? I think, oh God, difficulty 2, eased by the fact that no one's watching and you can kind of take
That
your
does make it
time.
easier.
So there's a chance of failure, but not a great one.
Yeah, I'll just roll that.
And if you're trained in snooping, being an inseparable
Absolutely not.
busybody, perception, any of those
None
things.
of these things actually. I'm
Okay.
actually not good at that. I'm usually good at face to face, like just talking and
Got it.
being nice,
Getting all the
not
hot
snooping.
goss.
But this, yeah, hot goss. In this case, though, we're just snooping, and I got a 17.
Okay. There is a note. Well, there's 2 notes. One is from the sheriff saying, it's a little circumspect. Like it doesn't even mention Cameron by name. It's like, got word that something may be going on with Ms. Matthey. Me and Deputy Johnson are going to go head up. We'll be back by lunch probably, if anyone asks where I am. And the other is a note from one of the local pastors. And it's a note to the sheriff saying, Sheriff, came by, you weren't here. Just wanted to let you know I went out to the cemetery to let old Cernick know that it's probably a good idea to start digging. And he wasn't anywhere to be found. And then there's some like lengthy, I thought that, once the state in its wisdom decided to ban the devil drink, that we wouldn't have any more of this. But it certainly won't do for our graveyard keeper and grave digger to be off on a bender when his services are most required. So if you wouldn't mind, keep an eye out for him. And if you see him before I do, let him know that he needs to sober up and start leaning on the spade. And Irene, you're local, right? So old Mr. Zernick has been in town since anyone can remember, and is, frankly, the town's only gravedigger. Keeps what passes for a cemetery, a little bit outside town.
All right, well, I'll just keep this little tidbit in mind as we wait for everyone to come back and regroup outside of the sheriff's office.
And they do.
How's that? Oh, so Annie, do you have any intuition on this matter? Since I think Maura mentioned, one of these people mentioned.
Annie will try to see if the voices are talking to her.
Yeah. They always are. I think it's more of a challenge to figure out what it is that they're saying, right? I think give me an intellect roll difficulty 3. That's counting an ease for the fact that you're effectively practiced at this because they're your voices. So you can accept that target number of 9, or you can try to bargain it down even further. Spend a little effort, maybe.
Does that include the listening skill?
I don't think that that's the same skill. I think that's physically listening, not making sense of the chaotic voices that fill your addled brain.
So if I have edge and intellect, does using effort just use 1?
So it costs 3 from the appropriate pool to apply effort. What edge does is it makes any spend of that pool cheaper. So that applies like Cameron's skill that costs 1 intellect to activate because he has edge and intellect. It makes it free. So in this case, it would knock that 3 down to 2 intellect that you would need to spend to apply effort.
I would like to use a skill here, the encouragement skill.
Oh, yes.
And which I just like, all right, Annie, just focus and do your best with the voices and try to hopefully figure out something here. And I believe it costs 1 intellect, and I believe I have an edge, therefore it's free.
Yeah.
And
or you can even sing a little hum, a little ditty, little soothing ditty.
It has to be a skill I'm trained in. So I would probably use what was it? What was the music one? Sorry, give me a second. Here, it's an anecdote. It's like next hour who listens to are trained in a choice. Okay, so the anecdote allows me to choose a skill, and I would choose the one that's relevant. But this costs actually 2 points, so it's knocked down to 1. Yep. All right. So I would do a similar thing and maybe do a song that would help her focus and something along the lines of...
anyone who listens to this is, for the next hour, trained in deciphering mad spirit voices. It's a pretty specific skill, but it's apropos to the moment.
Useful.
And that cost me 1 point.
Cool. Which will then ease you further, Annie. You may still want to apply effort to that to knock it down even further. So with Rick's assistance, that'll get you down to 2, difficulty 6, or target number 6. If you then spend 2 of your own intellect points, that'll knock it down to 1, therefore target number 3.
I'll spend the 2 intellect points to knock it down to 3.
Cool. Roll it up.
That's a 15.
Ooh. Yeah, I think you hear a number of things. You hear a strange, it's not, you're not sure if it's nonsense or if it's a word. You hear like a hum, wah, hum, wah. I'm not sure what that means. You hear, like tapping noises, like boot heels on wood, but like fast. Not like running, but like someone stomping their heels against wood. You hear creaking. You hear hissing and rattling. It's a lot of kind of auditory noise. I think you maybe even hear the sound of a gunshot, maybe the sound of bones breaking. It's kind of a rush, but with Rick's encouragement, you do get that same quiet, singular voice that spoke to you before kind of pipe up over that din and say, "Some wake earlier than others." They won't be asleep for much longer. It's too late to run. And then, wah.
Guys, we woke the evil spirits of the enchanted forest because I've been hearing voices. Well, not because, but that's what they're saying. And out of the enchanted forest.
They're saying what?
There were things that were sleeping and they were gonna wake up soon after the crash of the train. They had said that they were asleep, but then they're gonna wake soon. But now they're saying that some are asleep, some wake up sooner, and then also when basically when they're awake, there's no time to run, so whatever that means.
That sounds alarmingly like a threat of danger that we can no longer run from. But that's probably fine. It's just, your intuition speaking. Speaking of intuition, I did pick up a little tidbit of information while we're over at the sheriff's that old man, I wrote down his name so I wouldn't forget.
Zernick, but with a C, CZ.
Easy. Oh, okay. I did not write down the right name at all. That's fine. Old man Cirque, the gravedigger, I say to Camden. He's missing, and obviously his services are going to be required. He said that maybe they was enjoying too much medicine. You know what I'm saying, Cameron. So maybe we go off down by the graveyards, just on the outside of town, just past the other clear-cut fields. And maybe we can find him at his house, see what's up, do the sheriff a favor. He might know something about someone creeping around dead bodies.
Not thrilled, but yeah, let's yeah.
Seems
Safety
like
in numbers.
Well, in the bright, beautiful, sunshiny day, high, fluffy clouds, I think almost a sense of false cheer from some of the neighbors and townsfolk that you pass on the streets. I think folks just kind of trying to almost exercise the unfortunate events of yesterday by smiling maybe a little bit wider than normal, maybe greeting each other across the street a little bit louder and with a bit more cheer than the average. You take a pleasant 15-minute walk. Well, as you arrive, it's very clear that the pastor was mistaken. Old man Zernick has been rather busy already. Although I will say, as you approach, his work is maybe a little bit sloppier than normal. The graves don't seem to have that nice, sharp, rectangular shape that you would expect. But there's got to be half a dozen dug already, or at least partially. As you get closer, it's a little odd that so many of those graves already have headstones.
Were there a lot of recent burials here, or?
No, in fact, I was just at the burial for this one right over here. Is he digging up graves?
Oh yeah, a friend of yours, company man. Irene, as you and your group of friends step into the little cemetery plot, you kind of scan the headstones. There doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason. Some of these graves are recent, some are old. But as you kind of pass by and look at the names and the families, you realize they're all tied, connected to Babcock. Oh, well, there's Janie. She used to keep the books. Oh, and there's Jim, who was a foreman of a logging team. Oh, and I think that's old Mr. Brown. He died years ago. But he had some sort of role with the company.
Rick is having kind of a panic moment. Well, not a panic moment, a moment of difficulty because he has wild ideas about what's happening, but he doesn't quite know if he believes his own thoughts about it. Like, are these people? So if the people are coming back, are they coming back to work for Babcock even beyond the grade? That's insane. That's something crazy people think. But he keeps it to himself because he doesn't want the others knowing, because it's just wild speculation on his part.
Cameron has similar concerns that he is not voicing. The whole company man to your grave doesn't actually stop there.
Is Irene voicing her concerns or what she's?
I'm probably just doing that monologue where I keep pointing out that each one is from the company. That's what's going on. Irene probably doesn't have the thought level of, oh yeah, these are definitely the bodies that are rising from the dead, because that's not something that happens.
Yeah, you're just gotta say, oh, and they used to work for the company too, and oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, her husband worked for the company.
And they were with Babcock. Yeah, they all worked for Babcock. So weird. Anyway,
Mora.
So we've got Babcock employees raising from the dead?
No, they've just been unearthed.
Yeah.
Who unearthed them?
Well, the grave digger, of course. Who else would be digging around in a graveyard?
Well, we better find him and see why he's digging up these graves then, if that's what's happening.
Precisely. His house is right over there.
How long ago, when was the last time you saw all these graves buried, Irene?
Well, Irene starts and gives a very long list for as long as she's lived in town, which is a long time. And the years, approximately, when each one died, and a little tidbit about the funeral, including whether they served good snacks or bad snacks.
Yes.
And when was the last time you saw the grave relatively intact?
Well, I don't have much reason to come out here that often, but the last funeral, which was not that long ago, these were all undisturbed.
Yeah, poor Mrs. Timmons.
Was it
Yeah.
Caught a little bit of the pneumonia over the winter, and everyone thought she would get better, but unfortunately, she had a weak constitution and then passed a few weeks ago.
all right? So 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
And how many graves here are open?
Oh, more than half a dozen.
Okay, so it's possible that someone could have opened all this up within 2 or 3 weeks. Okay.
It would just be a strange thing to do.
Yeah, it's very unusual. There's a lot of things that aren't quite lining up here.
So
But-
let's go knock on that shack house over there.
Absolutely.
Yes, the shack house.
Does it occur to Irene that the note from the pastor didn't mention all the open graves when the pastor was here this morning?
Now that everyone has been questioning how long the graves have been not disturbed, and I'm thinking about the note, and I go, you know, it's odd. I would have thought the pastor would have mentioned that he saw these graves, what disturbed like this. He said that Mr. Cernick wasn't doing no work at all. Here it is. Looks like he's been busy all morning.
Sorry, the pastor said you read a note that's the pastor didn't mention any of this.
No. He was just concerned that Mr. Cernick wasn't doing nothing. Well, he had some other concerns, but it's not my business to share.
Rick's wild imagination starts getting the better of him, and he takes his gun from his backpack and puts it in the back of his, in his pants back here.
Cool. Rick, since you're a little skittish, would you give me a distance? Oh, difficulty 3? Intellect, perception will apply. You know what? I would even apply listening.
That
Mora.
I do have.
Mora, you're thinking back to your train ride. And you're thinking about that young couple who were coming up to town, see if they couldn't get Daddy's blessing. Now that the young man had a job with the company. You're thinking about just the things that you observed and didn't connect. Seems like, you can't say for sure if everyone, but you got a little bit of an inkling that a lot of those folks were connected to the company somehow.
Yeah. We've got empty graves of company folks. And I don't think anyone that Irene has listed has not been from the company.
Including the 4 who were reclining in Irene's meat cellar.
Now, if that ain't a pattern, I don't know what is.
Sorry if I missed it. Do we know it was before he left? Before he left town, was Mr. Matthew as well?
Oh, I don't know that anyone knows. He was a lumberman.
Yes.
I know you're trying to hand me a softball, but I rolled a 4.
Okay. You're looking around, but you're looking in all the wrong places.
My internal monologue is taken over.
So you make your way to the little shack. There is a small chapel out here. Oftentimes, what'll happen for a funeral is there's a proper service in one of the larger churches in town. But there is a small chapel out here. Maybe peek your head in and see that the door is ajar, and some leaves and dust have blown in. Seems a bit. I mean, Mr. Zernick is not known for being super tidy, but it does seem a little odd to you, Irene. You approach the shack. The door is also ajar. You look inside. There's a foul smell. You see his little cot bed stained. Befouled. Still kind of wet and juicy in the middle, as if someone had expired and lain undisturbed for several days. Irene, who pays Mr. Zernick's wages as a service to the community?
Oh, yes, as I was saying, the company pays his wages due to all the logging accidents and mine collapses and so on.
And I think,
it smells.
yeah, I think as everyone kind of is covering their noses, maybe kind of rushing outside to get some fresh air, having confirmed Mr. Zernick is nowhere to be found, I think the camera is focused on the group of you standing in front of his little shack, and then racks focus to the line of trees not far behind, and we see just the barest silhouette, slender figure with a spade over its shoulder, kind of standing in a jaunty, somewhat distressing angle, watching everything from the shadows. And I think we'll put a pin in it there. It's fine. There's nothing
Normal
to worry
things.
about.
Fine.
Normal.
You can
It's
always just
fine.
hop on a
Good
train out of
perceiving.
town and leave this all behind. Oh, wait. Cool. Well, hey, hope everyone enjoyed the continuing story of the lovely little town of Davis, West Virginia, 1914. Lower Alleghenies, Middle Appalachia. Beautiful place, lots of opportunity for enterprising individuals. Wannabe spiritualists, hedge witches, musicians, butchers, and people who have very strong intuition that definitely isn't voices in their head. Hey. Well, we'll find out next time if you have a chance to make something of yourselves. Let's go around and do that thing. Hey, we started with Irene this time, Misha this time. So let's go with Mel to wrap us up.
Yes, I'm Mel, and I don't stream. You can find me here at the next game for this or for Call of Cthulhu sometimes.
Sin.
Sin, you can go ahead.
Hi, I'm Sinner___potato here on Twitch. I stream whenever the voices tell me to stream. I've been playing Annie. The next time I'll be here will be the next time it's here, which is on Tuesday, hopefully. And other times I may be in other games that may also be here.
Yeah.
Or possibly running something eventually. Other than that, I may be in chats or just lurking. I'm everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Yeah, it's a race to see whether you come back as Annie or as the world's worst psychologist ever, Dr. Wells. It's amazing. And it's not the role playing, it's the dice. The dice just hate every psychology role that this world-renowned psychiatrist makes. It's amazing.
Well, it's medicine or psychology.
Right.
So
Go
far.
back and check out some of the Call of Cthulhu stuff with Dr. Wells. It's shocking to the point of hilarity how terrible the roles are on anything that the character is built to be fantastic at. Sorry,
she was very good at defeating. She was very good at defeating a Cthulhu beast.
That's true. That's true. Capper.
I'm Capperson. I will be here next Tuesday, hopefully playing some more games in the future. Otherwise, organizing community events in Minnesota. So, over to Shanks.
Hi, I'm the Shanks Master General. I don't stream much, but maybe one day I'll speedrun Celeste again. Who knows? But I was playing Rick Schlink, the musician. I'm also a musician in real life. Who'da thunk? And you can support my band, the Dreadnoughts, on Spotify, on iTunes, and all that. If you word search the Dreadnoughts, DREADNOUGHTS. Thank you very much. And on to Misha.
Yep, I'm Misha_lesson3. I don't stream. Might see me modding on the Juices TV program. Otherwise, I will be here next Tuesday. If you come join the Discord, I was hoping to put up a poll for some more Call of Cthulhu games for later this month. So see if any of those align with your schedule.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. I just dropped that link into chat. If you're watching later on YouTube, there's a link somewhere. We have kind of an open enrollment policy. As long as you're nice and have a decent microphone and camera, just hit us up if you're interested in playing and we can chat about it. Always interested in introducing new folks to new systems. If you don't know us, we tend to play a wide variety of tabletop role-playing games, but not the most common one, generally. Because there's so many really awesome systems, like player-facing systems, like the Cypher system that we're using for this series, and generally systems and settings that are more story-oriented. It's not all spooky stuff. We've got some sci-fi, we've got some fantasy, kind of you name it. Everything from very silly. We're all wandering anthropomorphic animals who have a wedding planning / insurance agency / I forget how many businesses. Oh, and historical society, and have a tendency to blow up every town that we're in, and or set everything on fire. To kind of gritty sci-fi, Mass Effect, Alien kind of stuff, to Princess Bride and The Labyrinth and all kinds of like nostalgia style stuff. So there's a wide variety. So if you are watching on Twitch now, hey, go over to cpluscontent.tv, which is our YouTube channel, and give it a little follow, and check out our back catalog of billions of hours of stuff.
I'm still waiting on the Snurfs personally.
Yes,
I would love to.
The Snurfs, some custom games that we haven't tried yet. We've got to go back to Survive, because we have way too many 80s 90s B movie horror one shots to do. We've got the whole zombie apocalypse multi-system continuity that we've got to keep moving. At some point we've all got to go back to Willow Bluff for more nonsense. So there's plenty more to come. So welcome aboard. Thanks everyone for playing. Thanks everyone for watching. We're gonna raid out. We're gonna say goodbye to our friends on YouTube first, remember. And then we'll find someone to read out to. So bye everyone on YouTube. See you again soon.
Bye-bye.